Hello! We want all of you to get to know your leaders for Iron and Amazing Lilies. So for the Crushing series by TD Jakes, we are going to share some of the crushing experiences that we've had in life. And we are asking you to guess which leader do you think had that crushing experience. Are you ready? Here we go. All right, we're gonna keep going. Let's see. I lost my daughter. She passed away. I was completely devastated, absolutely terrified, and felt beyond abandon. Which Lily's leader do you all think that was?
That was me. I lost my daughter. It's been 22 years. I lost her 6 weeks after I married my second husband. 6 weeks, she died unexpectedly from an asthma attack. And when the doctors told me we could not resuscitate your daughter, that word just rung in my ear, and I fell to the floor and I said, God, why? Why? And I blamed God, and I was angry, and I would have gave anything to bring her back. But when I went in to see her for the last time in the hospital, it was just horrible. It's like I fell into a deep hole of depression. I mean, deep. And I felt that nobody would understand. If you ever lost anybody, the pain's still the same, whether you lose a dad, a mom, your husband, the pain is still the same, and you're just in this hole, and you have no control. That was my biggest issue. I had no control, so of course I went through the 7 steps of grieving, but even that didn't help. It took a long time for me to get back to where I am now. But I went to counseling. I was an inpatient. That's how screwed up I was, you know. But I'm not there anymore. I am not there.
Thank you, Lord.
God has healed me 100%, and He's blessed me with other children. I have 4 more children. Not to replace the one I lost.
Yeah.
Because God goes after the one, right? But for me, I was blessed. And I couldn't change anything. I wouldn't change anything right now, because out of a death, you still learn, you still grow. There's still more life that you have to live. God's trying to teach everyone something about life, that death is a part of life. You can't get away from it. And so I'm so blessed right now. And I pray that everyone understands that there's life after that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
I witnessed domestic violence growing up. I felt lost, I felt scared, trapped, and so very vulnerable. Which Lily's leader do you believe that might have been?
That would be me.
Mm.
I did grow up with domestic violence in my home. I would go back and forth from my parents' house to my grandmother's house, and then I couldn't run away from it there. There was also domestic violence there. So it was a very difficult time, a crushing time, a time of fear, of uncertainty, of just not knowing what's going to happen in my life. But I actually credit those times to getting closer to God, because I had a praying mother, and I had a praying grandmother who believed and who had us pray over the situations. And anytime these things would happen, they would just go deeper with God and pray and intercede for their husbands. And there was times where my mom would have us fast for my dad, and just times where I learned how to pray, how to seek God's presence, how to be in His. And as a child, I didn't know what that was, but just to be able to see, not only did I witness domestic violence, but I also witnessed the transformation of my father who God just transformed into a man of God who he is today. And I like to say he doesn't even smell like smoke. Because if you meet my dad, he's the sweetest, most precious man that no one can say anything negative about him. And my parents have been married for 53 years. And he's just, I'm a daddy's girl. And so is my sister. And so to be able to see God work in those areas, it's what helped me deal also with custody battles and all the other questions that I faced in my life, because I knew that if God did it with my dad, he could do it in every other situation. Yes. And that's the part of the crushing that I always credit to my faith in God, was to be able to grow in such a dysfunction and such a chaos and witness so many things. But the greatest thing I witnessed was God's redemption power of transformation.
Amen. I love it. All right. I lost my job. I felt scared, uncertain, and so worried. What Lily's leader do you believe that was?
That was me. I think it was maybe 25 or so years ago. I was with the company for about 15 years, and my position was being transferred to another state. So I was given the opportunity for me to move, but my husband and I, we decided to stay. So I got the severance package. But so months later, I was trying to find a job, and it was around the time when the market was really bad as far as, employment. So it took me a very long time for me to find a job, and I was getting worried, and I was scared, just trying to figure out how we're gonna live this lifestyle that we have, and with one income. So I remember one Sunday, I decided that I wasn't going to go to church because I was, pretty depressed at that point. So my husband, Raymond, he went to church, and I sat at my kitchen table, and I was just praying. I prayed God, and I said, God, I know you are a provider, you are our provider, and you will be there for us. So I took my Bible and opened it up, and believe it or not, it opened up in Matthew. And the verse that says that I will take care of you if I can feed, the birds. And I couldn't believe it. And sometimes, we feel that, we think that, God doesn't talk to us, but he talks to us through scripture. And he had me open up the Bible, and that was his voice telling me that everything would be all right. And surely enough, a couple months later, I was able to find another position, another job, where I am today. And I've been in this job for 14 years, and so God provided, and he never fails. So just keep on trusting. Amen. And just keep being in the Word, because no matter how crushed you may feel that you are, he is always there, and he will always provide.
Amen. Amen.
Well, thank you for learning a little bit more about your leadership team. We are praying for each one of you. We are so glad that we've gotten through the Crushing series, and that you've joined us, and God is going to do great things in all of our lives.
Amen.
Thanks,
Amen.
ladies.
Thank you.